Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews, Hip Hop and Hops, and today I'm reviewing Kota the Friend's ambitiously titled album, Everything, and I am sipping on a Dogfish Head Super 8 Super Gose from Delaware. It's a 5.3% fruity beer, very summery beer, and this is a summery album, so I'm drinking this, enjoying it, and let's get into the vibes. This was a highly anticipated album for me because Kota the Friend's last album, FOTO, was the #1 album of 2019 in my opinion. So I was very excited to hear what he did on his follow-up. The first track, Summer House, picks right up where we left off with Kota and kind of exactly what you would expect from him. Very laid-back flow, very laid-back beat. It reminds you of a lazy weekend at a summer house and kind of gives you that feel of being on a lazy vacation. So it all works there. Perfect timing on the release of this album, by the way, right at the end of May, because it's all about summer and sun and being at the beach and sipping on beer, being at the lake and fishing, and just a very summery type of album. One of the best lines on this song, Summer House, he says, "I think I'm better with beer. Some probably think that I'm not. I didn't say that I care." I can relate to that. The next track, Mi Casa, continues the positive vibes, almost in the same style as Summer House, but even better in my opinion. It's a really catchy chorus and really positive vibes throughout the song. So you'll have something very positive stuck in your head, which beats what could be stuck in your head with Kota just saying Mi Casa, Isu Casa, and that really works. And one of the best lines from this song, he says, "I got some homies in mansions, I got some homies in tenements, there is no one that I'm better than." So Kota, he is just a really positive, humble person, and you can feel his realness in his rhymes and the authenticity that he displays on tracks like this. b.q.e is a nice change up from the first two tracks that were kind of similar, although they still worked and they still had good vibes. b.q.e switches it up just at the right time. And when this song was first dropped, it was dropped several weeks before the album. It was the first single for the album. I thought, Kota changed his style up a little bit. It sounds a little bit different than what we heard on FOTO. But and I wasn't sure if I really liked it at the time that it dropped, but it grew on me very quickly, very, very quickly. And in the context of the album, it doesn't even really seem all that different from Kota's style. It seems to mesh very well with what he is doing on Everything and what he has done in the past. I think he did step out of his comfort zone a little bit with this beat. But it still all fits nicely within his style. And he got Joey Bada. Now, Joey's been getting a lot of hate lately. He has put out some less than stellar projects, although not his albums. I still enjoy his albums, but the compilation joint that he did with Flatbush Zombies and some of his brothers in Pro Era, that wasn't the best album that I've heard recently, and he didn't have any standout verses on it, but he more than makes up for that here. I think that he has a great verse, and it's a great standout guest appearance that maybe you wouldn't expect on a Kota the Friend album. So Joey Bada holds it down, and in a way makes this song. The next track, Long Beach, he touches on the edge of pop on this, and I don't know how he does that and still keeps his integrity, which he does on this song, much like he did with Bagels on his last album. He makes something very poppy, very catchy, very pop-esque, but it works and still maintains true to his style. And it doesn't feel like he's selling out or that he's reaching for something. And it's a fine line to walk, and Kota does it very well, better than most people that I've heard try to do that. So this is nothing but an upbeat love song, but it works. And it's something interesting and different and replayable. Even as just an upbeat love song. I really like it and I enjoy the vibes. And by this time on the album, we realized that Kota's use of horns are impeccable. It's something different, something we don't hear a lot, and his variations of the horns, where he uses them on a lot of his tracks, they never sound the same. So this is great from the producer side of Kota as well as the MC side, because he does produce all of his own tracks on this album. Away Park is another good summer-themed love song. So even though he's touching on the subject several times on this album of love, and the album is definitely about summer and good, feel-good vibes, this song still works and it stands as an individual track. It makes you want to sit in the sun and sip some beers. And that's what a lot of this album does. And if something makes you feel good, if the lyrics are really deep or not, it's just a love song, but it has those feel-good vibes. And what's really funny about all the summery, feel-good aura of this album is that you know that he was probably recording this during the winter, given the timing that it came out, and he was probably mixing it during quarantine when everything has been shut down. So it's really all that more amazing that he could capture that feel-good vibe of summer in all of these songs. And something else that makes this song Away Park interesting is that he works with good and unique people. He doesn't reach and try to get the hottest artists to come do a guest feature. He works with people that he thinks are going to fit the vibes the most. And he does that well on this song with Kaiit, who's an Australian singer and has a good verse on the outro of this song. Volvo is the second single from the album. I like the video too. Kota, in addition to being a great rapper and producer, he's also a great videographer and puts out a lot of visual content for his songs, which he did with Volvo. And it's a feel-good song. And with choruses like this, like they have on Volvo, you just can't help but smile. It makes you feel good. One of his lines on the chorus, or a couple of his lines, are, "Put my chair where the grass is cut. Yeah, that's my queen and she's bad as fuck. Yeah, bad vibes just so yesterday." So that's just awesome. When that's in the chorus, it's catchy, it's in your head, and you're saying things on repeat, like bad vibes just so yesterday. It starts to have an effect on the way that you feel. Morocco is one of the only missteps on the album. I couldn't enjoy this song too much, while Kota still holds it down and his beat is there, it's adequate, it's something that works. I think this would have been a better song solo. To me, this guest star, Tobi, he comes in and he drags the track down a little bit with his style and it doesn't quite work. While some people might appreciate it, and I know this guy has fans out there, I'm not one of them, so that distracts a little bit from everything that we've been feeling about the album so far. However, the track Always brings it back. We have some live saxophone on this album, so speaking of horns and how those are employed really good on Kota's production, he goes and gets some live horns, and that's from the saxophonist Braxton Cook. And he adds some good live instrumentation to the background of this. He also has a guest appearance from MC Kyle. And Kyle, his flow is very nice on here, very laid back and conversational. So while he's a different voice coming in, he does fit Kota's style very well. And at this point in the album, hearing so much of Kota and his laid back style, it's good to get a bit of a change up and hear a different voice here, which Kyle brings nicely. There are some nice interludes here. These are actually done from some well-known actors. Lakeith Stanfield, who is the actor from Atlanta and Sorry to Bother You, and an even bigger actress, Lupita Nyong'o. I can't believe that Kota got them. It kind of shows that he's growing in popularity, that he could get some actors of this nature to come in and do interludes on his album, and it's fitting what they do. It goes right in with the flow of the album, and it's not distracting like some interludes might be, especially when you have actors coming in and talking over a track. The last track, Everything, Kota closes the album in the same way that he did with FOTO with the title track. and I like this approach. I like what I call climax songs that kind of tie everything together. They summarize what the album is about, usually at the end or towards the end of an album. And I really like it when artists do that and tie everything together. Kota did that on FOTO with the track FOTO. He does it here on Everything with the track Everything. And it's a perfect climax song that puts a cap on everything that's happened in the album. And what he's talking about on this song, lyrically, he's not actually talking about everything, he's talking about everything that's important in life. So he's talking about love, children, money, career, good vibes, good music. Everything that's important to him is coming up on the lyrics of this track. Lyrics like this show you that it really is about everything that's important. He says, "This that get your money independent, fuck a deal. This that do what's good to you, so fuck how they feel. This that spend a week up in the mountains just to heal some. Marry someone that go 50-50 when the bill come." So just very good observations that Kota's putting forth on this about everything that's important in life. Kota is so laid back and one of the most positive MCs, rather, one of the most positive people that I've actually heard. And that all comes across on his music. It'll just make you feel good to listen to this album, and it's a welcome distraction from everything else that's going on in the world. Somebody should be making an album that makes you feel good and happy and getting those summer vibes and making you want to sip beers and sit out on the beach, and Kota's bringing that. Much like he brought with his last album, although this one is even more summery as things go and almost even more laid back. But when I heard that style originally on FOTO, I kept thinking, how am I enjoying this so much? How is this not monotonous to me because he has the same laid back style? How am I not bored with this? There's no killer flows, there's no hype beats, and the same thing holds true here. But I just kept returning to FOTO, and I know I'll keep returning to this because even though he doesn't have those killer flows that are going to blow your mind, he has his own style, and he makes music that makes you smile, and that is more important than anything that'll just get your head nodding. It's incredible how he can make it work and make it not get boring. And like I said, I can't even really explain it, but it all works because Kota's got it. And that's probably the authenticity that's in him and how good he feels and what he's just putting out there into the world. I was so impressed by his last album. And to me, this is the perfect sequel because it just continues the vibes that we got on that. Although we know that sequels are rarely as good as the original, and that unfortunately is true in this case. This is a great album, but FOTO introduced us to the style, and FOTO also went a little bit lyrically deeper, and something that you could hit rewind to try to figure out exactly what he meant by certain lines, which isn't as prevalent on Everything. Still, Kota's musical prowess and draw are undeniable. He has extreme musical skill, and Everything is something that'll make you smile, it'll make you feel good, it'll make you have good vibes, and that is very important in this day and age. This Everything is a contender for Album of the Year. So I'm going to give this a 10 out of a 12 pack. I enjoyed it, and I suggest you go and listen to Everything and play it on the beach, sipping one of these. Thank you for listening to Brews and Reviews. I hope you like this review of Kota the Friend's Everything. Click this video that's next to me, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.